Hello, I'm joined now by conference and event host Jeremy. Jeremy, great to see you. Of course, you've been hosting events for many years now. Why do you think it is so many of them are so forgettable?
Well, I think there are two main reasons, Susie. Firstly, it's either good content, which is poorly delivered, or it's content which is superfluous or inappropriate for the needs of the audience.
So which would you say is more disappointing, mediocre delivery or boring the audience?
Well, mediocre delivery is certainly not great, but I think it's far worse for a presenter or speaker to deliver something which is either inappropriate, superfluous, or is just not required by the audience. So delegates will certainly be forgiving of someone with a mediocre delivery, and they will certainly condemn any sort of thing, anything else which is superfluous, in my opinion.
It's very difficult to get the balance right. How do you do that?
Well, really, getting the balance right really is about making sure that somebody in my position as an event host or MC is there working with the presenters and the speakers to make sure their delivery is spot on. No delegate or audience participants wants to hear bad delivery. So it's really my responsibility as the event host or master of ceremonies to make sure things are really on the button.
It is a big responsibility. So when do you come on board? When do you get involved?
Well, I like to be involved really, Susie, from the get-go, which is working with the event management team and the client to make sure that the delivery is going to be fine, the messaging of the event is fine, and really get a feel really for the client and really what they expect from an event or a convention.
And you want to get the best out of everybody, but what do you mean by best?
Susie, in the audience there are people who are probably earning £50,000, £100,000 a year, £250,000 a year. It's not so much the price of the ticket, it's really their hourly rate. And if they don't feel they're deriving value from an event and getting good messages and good takeaways from a speaker, they simply won't come back.
So, Jeremy, over the course of a year, you get asked to do many events. You probably have to turn a few down.
Yes, I do, Susie. And quite frankly, I don't like things which are rushed. I mean, sometimes you're called at the last minute to do something, but that's a rarity. But for the most part, nowadays I like to work with clients and event management teams who get me in early, so I get a feel for the event, understand the speakers, understand their styles. If you like, I suppose I'm a communications coach to them as well as being the MC. So it's really a dual role.
And what about technology? How much of a part does that play in the event?
Well, nowadays there are all sorts of great things with Wi-Fi and ticketing and social media. You're possibly referring to hybrid events where one is speaking to an audience locally and also remotely, but quite honestly, I'll go back to my first point. If you don't get the content right or it's badly delivered, it doesn't matter what technology you've got there at all. It's about getting that thing. So technology does play its part, and hopefully it won't put me out of work in the future, but basically it's important to get the content spot on.
But do you not fear just that this technology is going to obviate the need for conferences in the future?
No, I don't think so. I think the lure of the company event, whether it's once a year or twice a year or whatever, you can meet your colleagues and it's having that cup of coffee or having a drink in the sidebar. I think those things are really important and key to getting good internal relations between yourself and other parts of the team. And also you can meet the management team, whether it's from this country or abroad, so you feel you're sort of part of a big international or national team, and I think that's terribly important.
So how do you go about getting your business?
Well, I don't really advertise apart from a little bit on the website and social media, so really for the most part, Susie, it's about invitations or word of mouth recommendations, and sometimes work comes through my agents as well.
So why should event planners or agents, managers book you?
Well, quite frankly, I don't just turn up and do the gig and walk away. I'm there for the whole process. Therefore, from the inception sometimes of the idea, and indeed after the event has taken place, I can give them good feedback. Also, and very importantly, where there are ticket sales involved, I will try and help out as well there in making sure that the event is plugged on social media. I'll do what I can. But put into a nutshell, Susie, I'm there before the beginning and after the end.
Fantastic.